Welcome back. Welcome back to yet another episode of the Talkative Sports podcast. It's me, Marcus, and your guy here, Zach, the resident Chelsea fan. Well, one of the resident Chelsea fan on the podcast. It's just us two today, but you know what? We're just gonna rock out like we always do, right, Zach?
No, we do it.
All right. So, you know where we're gonna get started. Midweek football, wherever that is, that's where we got to start. And there was a lot of action this week with Champions League. This week was the second half of the first leg of the knockout stage. That was a lot, so I'm gonna just repeat it again. This week was the second half of the first leg of the knockout stage. Yesterday we saw Inter Milan and Atletico Madrid take off in Italy, and then PSV Eindhoven and Borussia Dortmund in Netherlands. And then today we had FC Porto and Arsenal in Portugal, and then Napoli and Barcelona in Italy. So, to be honest, yesterday's matches, there really wasn't much to really talk about. Although, let's start off with Inter and Atletico just to, discuss them. Me personally, I think Inter got that in the bag. It was a hard fought battle, but then again, anytime you go up against Atletico Madrid, I think you can expect a hard fought battle. And that's really what it was. But you know what? Inter came out on top. I'm pretty sure it was Lautaro Martinez that scored.
Oh no.
No, it was Galeno.
Oh, are you talking about the Inter game?
Oh, no.
Arnautovic.
Arnautovic.
Yep. He was able to capitalize off of the rebound that Lautaro Martinez shot. Yeah.
Okay. That's what got me. It was a Lautaro Martinez shot. As you can see, guys, I only had highlights to go off of this one. I couldn't really watch that one yesterday. But, however, are you surprised that Inter came out with the win? Me, I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be surprised. The runners up, basically. Yeah, doing what they do. I think I do believe they're a better team. So, um, yeah, that's why I'm not. Because, like I said, they have instead of having 38-year-old and Dzeko coming off the bench, or the fraudulent Lukaku. Um, they have Arnautovic and Turam. Yeah, so they'll be fine. They're fine. They'll be all right. No worries here.
Okay, and it's pretty much wraps for Atletico. You don't think because this first leg was
Count them out.
in Italy.
I cannot count them out because Atletico Madrid are the best home team in the world, record wise. So you can't count them out at home. Unfortunately, Inter. There's gonna be a dogfight at home. It's just, Simeone teams, man. It's going to be a fight. It's gonna be scratches, blood, tissue. This is gonna be a fight, man. Yeah, I can't count on Atletico. No, absolutely not.
Okay, so you can't count them out. Me, I've already counted them out. I think it's going to be the second leg. I think it's going to be 2-0 Inter Milan for a full-on aggregate score of 3-0 across the two legs. But since you're the one here saying you can't count out Atletico, tell me, what is your prediction for the second leg?
2-2. Inter Milan goes through. Yeah, barely, just barely. Yeah, they're a fighting team, Atletico. I'll give them that. Like even during the match, once they Like they were obviously in their shell, but then once they conceded the goal, well, they came out fighting. I mean, the next like after they conceded the goal, the play restarted. They had like a shot on target that was like, oh, it was just off target, but like they were like, yo, we gotta start firing. Obviously, when you have Alvaro Morata, most of them misfires, but hey, all you can do is fight. I mean, that's why you don't believe in them.
All right then. The other match that took place yesterday, at the same time as the Atletico match, was PSV Eindhoven and Borussia Dortmund. And honestly, man, Dortmund is such a disappointment.
Why are they? Why? Come on.
Like,
Why?
every time you look to them, like there's not one time. Let me say it like this. Let me say it like this. Right. As a football fan, I'm not a Dortmund fan, but as a football fan, you are able to look at certain teams and certain makeup of certain teams, and just when they're going up against certain opposition, it's just a no brainer for you to put your money behind that team based on your squad, the opposition, all that stuff. And when you look at a team like Dortmund, there are very few times where you look at the opposition they're going up against, and as a football fan that's able to understand formations and such, and even if you're not watching the Bundesliga day in and day out, week in and week out rather, but based off context clues, positional tables and things like that, you'd be able to put your money behind Dortmund. But then when you actually go and watch the games, it's just nothing but disappointment. It's just there's not one time you put your money behind Dortmund they actually go out and perform. And this is another one of those times.
Putting your money on Dortmund. I'm just looking at the Dortmund players here. Who are you betting your life against on this team? Please tell me. Is it 45-year-old Marco Royce? Is it Nicholas Fulkrug? Is it Daniel Malin? Or Jadon Sancho, the Manchester United reject? Emre Can, the Liverpool reject? Marcel Sabitzer, the Bayern and Manchester United reject? Ian Matson, the Chelsea loanee, who's still very young? I don't know who you want to bet on this team. Like, just tell me who are you betting on this team? I can see one player on the other team that I would actually bet on, but there's no players on Dortmund that I'm betting on, and and they still actually tied the game. It's weird. It's wild how PSV's team actually stands up against Dortmund's team pretty well, in my opinion. I would put Luke De Jong over Nicholas Fulkrug. Oh, Luke De Jong scored, of course, because he's better. It's like that's what I'm asking you. Like, who would you bet on that Dortmund team? There's one person I would bet on Luke De Jong because if you go to Luke De Jong's career goals to games and the amount of minutes he's given in his goals, great. So I would bet on him to
But
score.
you see, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. You just went through their entire lineup, and on paper, you got a guy like Marco Royce, you got a guy like Jadon Sancho.
Wait,
You're supposed to be better than this.
wait, no, 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 no. Marco Royce is 54. Okay,
Bro, stop disrespecting the man. You said 45, now you're saying 54. Next number out your mouth gonna be something higher than 70.
men should not be playing consistent high minutes in important games.
You're saying all that, yet you have a whole Thiago Silva on your team.
And I've said the same thing about him. Love
That's true.
Thiago.
That's true. That's true. You've been consistent that way. Can't fault you there.
Because the other teams are going to attack him. They have to. It's literally the game plan is telling you, it's giving you a playbook to beat this team. So Marco Royce, I love him, love his character, love like how he's been able to fight the Bayern conspiracy, fight the big man. But like Dortmund has to find more consistent play from his position, or else they have to, or else he has to be played. Because if there's not better play from his position, what do you expect? You know, you can't rely on a, I'm sorry, Marco, 35, 36, 37-year old to consistently be at his best every week, especially in big games. That's very tough.
I'm not as tough on Marco Royce as you are. I still believe the man still has a lot to give, but
Though I'm not blaming him. I'm simply saying that. Okay, I'm all right. Sorry, I'm not putting it all on him, but I'm saying he's one of the reasons. For example, he's not the oldest player that was on that team. See what I'm saying? As old as he is not the oldest player on that team. That's a problem.
so tell me this. So tell me this. Who would you who would you put your money behind in the second leg? Well, to actually come out of this knockout, PSV or Borussia?
I think Dortmund has some players though. I think Julian Brandt was on the bench. Come on, Dortmund. What are you doing? Dortmund has better players. It's just I don't know what
That's what I'm
they're doing.
saying.
Julian Brandt, Mokoko, Ozcan is pretty good. Marius Wu. Everyone they brought in for a sub should have been a starter. But I mean, it's okay because like it's not like they've been doing enough to blow the coach away. So you can't really blame the coach for doing what he did. You know what I'm saying? This is just one of those things where like the coach's hands are tied, man. But yes, Julian Brand should not have been on the bench. That is criminal. That is damn near fireable. Seriously. Yeah. Julian Brand should have been playing like the entire game. Marius Wolf, nice player. But Julian Brand is one of their best players. So
So am I
but
hearing? So am I hearing you're putting money on BVB to take this one over PSV Eindhoven?
am I putting money on BVB?
Yep.
No, man.
Ay ay ay.
I can't put money on yeah, it's still a tough one. Um because we know PSV has they have talent. They have talent. It's not like they're just bums. They have talented players. So like that Inter Milan Atletico, this is gonna be a fight to the death. This is gonna be a death match. Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. Okay. So you think it's going to be a draw? That means it's going to go to penalties, considering they drew this first leg.
They could. They really could. But
Okay.
I have Dortmund just barely pulling it.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. All right. So today's matches, we're going to start off with the more easier to discuss rather than the second one. Um, that's how I'm going to explain it. Napoli, Barcelona, right? So I watched this match through and through, and this match was not for the neutral, I'll say. Yeah, definitely not for the neutral. It was a lot of how can I explain it? Misfirings for on the side of Barcelona. Because if you look at the statistics, Barcelona had 12 shot attempts, but only half of that on target. And then the most surprising thing for me for with Barcelona was the decision making in the final third. They honestly just some of the attacking moves that they were able to get against Napoli. in that stadium, especially because that stadium, the crowd really knows how to really take advantage of the energy and everything. So for them to some of the attacking positions that they were able to get themselves into, if they were just able to tighten up and make a better decision. For example, there was a breakaway. It was honestly 3v2. Gundogan had the ball going towards goal, their goal, and 3v2. And I'm guessing he didn't see the two following up on the bottom, and he had completely drawn the two with him. He went for a shot. It went completely wide, not even on target. And all you could see is two people behind him just hands up in the air. And I'm just like, I was hands up in the air with them, like, Gundo, if you just legit turned over your shoulder to the left, you would have seen two great options just to lay the ball off, go for potentially a goal, shot on goal at least. But and it was just things like that throughout the whole game from Barcelona's side. From Napoli's side, I'm not gonna lie. I think I expected a little bit more, control in the game from them, but I guess they went in there conceding possession to Barcelona. But in the end, it ended up a bit tied when you look at the possession stats, 49% on Napoli compared to 51. But then where you see the complete difference is the shots. Napoli only has six shot attempts throughout the entire game, and they only had one shot on target, which was their one goal. And how that goal came about was a complete. You know what? I'm gonna just give credit where credit is due. It's a good job that they scored, but I wouldn't bank on them scoring a goal like that again. So
Ozymandias.
that's crazy. So I don't know.
So
I say all that to say with this. I'm left very,
he came through.
looking forward to the next leg, the second leg of this match, because this tie could go any way. This tie could really go any way.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think Victor Ozyman is one of those players that can only really thrive at one team. That's
That's
Napoli,
crazy.
really, because Napoli see as a team collectively see that their only chance to victory is through the big guy. So they're gonna feed him as much as they're gonna let him miss. They're gonna let him. They're gonna feed him until he gets the goal.
I mean, you say feed. There wasn't much feed in here. 6 shots in total, bro. And
That
Victor probably, I only remember Victor having two.
yeah.
One of them being the goal. If he had more, it'd be a surprise to me. And I'm telling you, I watched this game through.
No, yeah. Well, what I'm saying is like he had the most shots on his team, obviously. So I mean, then Barcelona had more possession, but still, Napoli have a difficult time creating chances. If Kvaratskhelia is not really giving you anything, it's pretty hard for them to create chances normally. That's just how Napoli work. So they normally try to feed Ozymandias, but I don't know. Like sometimes his head is in the game, sometimes his head is in the crowd, sometimes his head is in his shoe, in his back pocket. I don't know.
Yo, head in the shoe is crazy.
Hey, did you watch him in AFCon?
I did. It was a tough watch. It was a
Okay,
tough watch.
okay.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Nigeria got Victor Osimhen. I think he got his. I think they got his twin brother or something. That wasn't Victor that played the AFCON.
That's what I'm saying, man. He's one of those players that he can only really be a great superstar at one team, and that's Napoli, because they absolutely need him.
I don't know. I
Doesn't
mean,
really,
I think
Nigeria doesn't need Osimhen to win games. They don't. They've won with Lukman. They've
now
won.
this is a complete shot in the dark. Probably not even going to happen. But with Mbappe now confirmed to be going to Real Madrid, PSG has seen their all-star studded front three of Messi, Neymar, Mbappe completely gone within 2 years of it being created. They're going to need some new star players, right? There's word out in the street that they're going after Rafael Leao. And, if they were to go after a guy like Victor Osimhen, front three of Leao, Osimhen, and Dembele.
Yeah. No,
I
yeah.
don't know, man. I don't know.
No, that's what they're gonna do.
Okay, and if you think that's what they're gonna do, what are your thoughts on it? I think that's a pretty good starting forward line, bro.
I
Mind
mean,
you, mind you, they just told Xavi Simmons to come back.
who No, Javi Simmons is not a PSG player.
Yes, he is, bro. He's on loan.
You mean from PSV?
Yes, they just told him to come back. He's on loan from PSG.
No, no, no. PSV.
Yes, he is playing. He is on loan from PSG.
No, no, you're getting me confused. He plays at Leipzig right now. Avi Simmons is a RB Leipzig player. They bought him from PSV. I don't think he's on loan from PSG. He was bought straight up from PSV, Eindhoven,
Bro,
the
he
team.
is on loan from PSG. He's going back to the team.
Is
I'm
it this?
reading it here.
No,
Paris Saint-Germain plan to integrate Xavi Simons into first team next season. PSG, Xavi Simons and Zaire Emery to lead their project.
yeah. Wasn't he on PSV last season? Was he on loan there then?
Yes, he was actually sold to PSV in 2022, and PSG exercised a buyback clause and then loaned him to Leipzig.
Okay, that makes sense then. Because he was on PSV last season. Okay.
Not last season, 2022. Oh well, unless Leipzig. No, no, no,
No,
no.
he was on PSV last season.
Was he? Oh well.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I was confused because I he was I've watched him the last 2 seasons. He was on PSV last season, so
Okay,
that's why.
but now that you're here, they got Xavi Simmons coming back.
Hmm.
Imagine that front line. Come on now.
With Aussie man, okay, I'm not scared
That's crazy. You coming from your team that doesn't even have a striker. That's crazy.
because I don't rate Aussie man that high. I never have. That's why I said I think he can only be a great player with one team
So hold
because
on, question for you though. So because I know you rate Lautaro Martinez high. Lautaro Martinez or Victor Osimhen?
that's you're a funny guy.
it's
It's,
a it's a real question.
it's not even close. Lautaro Martinez.
That's crazy. All right,
It's
we'll
like
leave it there. I'm not even gonna argue with it.
how far is Jupiter from the sun?
Wow.
There you go.
Wow. There are Napoli there are Inter Milan fans probably listening to this. You're gonna have a bone to pick with them. leave your discretions in the comments, fellas,
Anytime
please.
Milan fans, I just said Lautaro Martinez is so much better than
I'm
Victor
sorry. I meant Napoli fans. I'm sorry.
Osimhen.
I meant Napoli fans.
Oh
Leave your discourse in the comments section.
no, well,
Um,
only knows that like I've always said, Kvaratskhelia is their best player.
I mean, I agree there.
Yeah, so
I agree
that's
there.
that. We're still good. It's all love. I just don't think. I just think that they got their eggs in the failing broken basket.
Oh
That's coming.
well. All right, moving on to probably the biggest surprise of this knockout, first leg knockout stage. Bro, Porto beats Arsenal today in Portugal 1-0. Now, that's just the stat line. Now, if we go to the statistics, Arsenal did not register a single shot on goal. on
Mm.
target. They had 7 shot attempts, but they did not register a single shot on target. This is with 64.7% possession.
I mean, they can still win this. They're capable of hanging in them goals, but you gonna ask me if I'm gonna bet money on them? No, no way.
Okay. So what I'll ask you though is this, Arsenal, they do it every year. Every year, the dip is coming. They're just like the Cowboys. And as Stephen A says about the Cowboys, be patient. Just wait. The downfall is coming. So I say all that to ask you this. Is this the beginning of that downfall this season? The 2023-2024 iteration.
What do you mean downfall? I mean, it's not like they were doing anything this season in the first place.
Wow. They're in a title race.
How?
Well, what do you mean how? You look at the Premier League table.
Let's look at the Premier League table. I want you to honestly tell me how they're in the still like. Yes,
They are 1 point. They are 1 point behind us, which we are in second, which we are 4 points behind Liverpool.
and you guys have a game in hand with them.
Yes, we have a game in hand.
They're not in a title race. Statistically, they are. All right. Statistically, they are. You're right. Well, come on, man. Do we have to go through this again? But like me, I'm at Arsenal. The point I'm at with Arsenal is just like the Cowboys. I'm not going to believe you can do it ever till you do it.
Mm,
You
mm.
are who you are until you're not. So prove me wrong, Arsenal. Well, until then, like there is no downfall for me. It's just them being who they are. Like Stephen A. said, the Cowboys will cowboy. Arsenal will Arsenal.
Mm,
This is what they do.
mm. Unfortunately, Manny's not here to defend his boys. This was a planned absence. He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready for this segment. Okay, so despite all that, you still believe Arsenal still is going to come out in this tie?
No, I never said that. No, 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 no.
Oh, you got Porto for the upset. You have Porto for the upset. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we'll go with Porto. Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. We'll go with Porto because it could go either way because Arsenal are at home.
Nah, don't start saying that now.
They could come and beat them 6-0 because it's Arsenal. They're like the Cowboys, they can flex on the tomato can team. Beat the Giants 45-2 and then lose to the Green Bay Packers. So that's what I'm saying. They could come out and
I mean,
the
you say that. You
you know
say that you just used the Cowboys as an example, and Arsenal the last 2 matches that they played, they beat West Ham 6-0, Burnley 5-0, and just lost to Porto 1-0.
thank you. That's what I'm talking about right there. And then they could come back and beat Porto. Really, they could. They're still that capable, but I just don't think I'm picking Porto because of Porto, if that makes sense. Not because I think Arsenal are going to Arsenal. I think it doesn't matter what Arsenal does. Porto is going to find a way to win this game in Emirates Stadium, just because they have like very good Champions League pedigree. Um, I can remember back in the day, every time we play Porto, it's a dogfight. Yeah, we win, but it's not like the other games that we win. It's like 1-0, 2-1. You're like, yeah, it's Porto. Like, how? Yeah. So Arsenal is in it, man. They asked for it. They were living dangerously.
Well, living dangerously indeed. Now they're in for a fight. we'll see if they make it out on top and survive. But that's all we got for Champions League. We'll be back on that when it comes around to the second legs. But moving on, we had quite the interesting match week 25 in the Premier League, and there's only one place we have to start because when they are doing terrible, we talk about it. So when they fight the good fight and manage to take 4 points off the reigning treble winners, you have to give them a round of applause. So, Zach,
Mm,
it
I
was a
would
good
have
job to your Chelsea guys.
I would have preferred to win that game. Once again,
It wasn't
Coach
going to happen. Stop it.
stole a win from us. But I mean, it's games like this that is the reason why my I did not believe in Mauricio Pochettino. It's like he just completely went into his shell. In like what the last what 15 minutes, 20 minutes when he subbed off Palmer and Sterling all at once. I think he made like three attacking substitutions and brought on all defenders.
I
It
to
just
be
makes sense to me, man. It just didn't make sense to me because you're asking for it from Man City. You're inviting them. The way that we were able to put Man City under pressure was to attack them. The only way through is to attack Man City, Liverpool. You can't beat them by just scoring a goal and thinking that you're just going to sit back and chill. Look at what happened to Luton Town. That's what they tried to do. Luton Town were attacking, and then they scored the goal. And they're like, "All right, fine, we're good." Like you just keep asking, inviting them, inviting them, inviting them, inviting them, and then eventually the goal is gonna come because they they're just too good. They're just that good. They're coached too well. They take offense way too seriously. So should have won, but I'm happy we didn't lose.
so I think I have a different opinion on Poch's substitution pattern because at the time he made it right, the two guys that he took off, those were your most two involved players and the two players that were giving us the biggest issues. Let me tell you something. And so when he now took off when he now took them off, from my side, I was thinking, let's go because I'm thinking, no, these guys are finally out of our thorn. Our backline can finally rest. You've been abusing them the entire time, you know. But then, but then what had happened was, right? I looked and I saw that you're bringing on all these people, these defenders, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, he's about to sit so many people behind the ball. It's going to be a fight. And looking at the time, there's barely any time left, plus garbage time, whatever they add on at the end. And I'm just like, oh, we're really going to have to fight. And like the guy that he is, the man that he is, the savior that he is, the Champions League winner that he is, Rodri, the hero of our midfield, came through and scored that equalizer for us. But I'm not gonna lie, it was looking rough. I think his defending substitutions did make it a bit tougher. That's why we needed such a heroic goal to come out on top. So
Tougher what? The goal took a deflection off of one of the substitutes.
uh,
What do you mean tougher? He helped you.
bro, that's
Pochettino
chance.
took
First
off.
chance.
Wait, he took off a player and put on a player that helped you score a tying goal.
You can't. I mean, it's very. I think it's very harsh to look at a deflection like that because
Chaloba
it could.
is
Because
in 4 months.
I think it's harsh to look at a deflection like that.
They're still
He was
defending.
doing his job. He affected the shot. It's just very unlucky that the shot that he affected ended up going into the back of the net.
Right. Unlucky for Chaloba. But for Poch, he's just all it's okay, Paul. It's okay.
It's
You
Got the job. He made the right call, in my opinion, because Chalobah was there to block the shot. It's just unfortunate that the shot it went in and went in off the block. It's very unfortunate, but he was there. He made the shot difficult, and that's all you can ask of a defender.
Yeah, but he shouldn't have been there. I'm saying he shouldn't have. We shouldn't have been in that position. That's what I'm saying.
I
We shouldn't
mean, if all I'm
have
saying is if
for
those
having
substitutions weren't made, it would have been a clear goal from open play rather than what it was. And I
but
think, you know,
before. Were there any goals before the substitutions? No.
oh no,
So
we were gaining on you. The second half was a completely different game. Oh yeah, the second half was a completely different game.
what do you mean? You scored after he took off our best attacking players. That's when you look your most dangerous. Yeah, no, the first half was like back to back, and the second half was a more equal game. But like towards the end of the after he took off our attacking players, that's when it was history. We couldn't
Mm.
buy the ball. We would try to get the ball back, but we can't because everybody that's on is either a defender or a midfield. So, and you know how Man City presses, and they were pressing. They were pressing a different where they were pressing the center back with the wingers instead, and dropping their midfielders back. So that would require. That's why Sterling was eaten because there was so much space. If you could get the 1-2 going with Gusto and Jackson, that's why they were eaten because they were using their wingers to pressure, and then that was forcing Nathan Ake to come up and press. But if you take away that threat, you're playing into Man City's hands because that's what they want to. That's what Pep wants to do. Pep wants you to have a lot of defenders on the pitch. So he can press his wingers, and then if you want to play around the ball at the back with your defenders, you're not going to be able to. You can't because he's literally pressing his wingers constantly. You know what I'm saying?
I
So
mean,
just trying to do his thing where, all right, let's possess the ball with our defenders, and then let's. You can't against Man City and Liverpool. They literally don't allow you to. They force you. They force you to attack. If that makes sense. The way they press, there's so much space behind, so they basically limit your options. Basically, they're saying if you're gonna attack this way. That's your only way you're gonna attack. If you don't have the players to do it, you have zero chance. Like I just said, you have to have the player that can hold the ball, beat at least beat the first guy off the dribble, and then you take those guys out, and you're bringing on a guy that hasn't played in 4 months.
man, he was the Palmer and Sterling were at the last legs, bro. Tired. I can completely understand coming on to put
He's
defenders
tired.
on.
That's not an excuse.
Ah,
Everybody's
well,
tired. Everybody
well,
played. I can't remember Phil Foden having any moment, but he played 90 minutes. I remember Haaland missing all those chances, but he played 90 minutes. Who else played 90 minutes? Nah, Doku. Pep was like, bro, come here on the bench. Come sit next to me.
listen. Here's what I'll say about. Here's what I'll say. Kudos to Malo Gusto. He can put a tombstone with Doku's name on it right in front of his right on his front lawn during Halloween.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
just like Miles Garrett, he can do it. He can do it. He can now say he has put this man in his pocket.
Mm, mm, mm.
Now, as for Doku, this was to be expected. You have to take the highs when they come, and you have to take the lows when they come. As what we all know is that his uh, production in the final third in terms of crossing and final movement, finishing final moves is tough right now. Is still being developed. You know, It's the
Construction.
exactly under construction. This is still his first season with us. As the more all we got is time, and as he spends more time, he'll get better. But it's just gonna. What I'll say is, it's gonna get worse and look worse before it gets better. Because right now he doesn't know what's wrong. So as he's trying to find the right things to do, he's gonna do a lot more wrong things, and that's just how I gotta look at it. So I'm not there sitting and screaming at my TV because when Malo Gusto was putting his hands on him, it was tough to watch. It was tough to watch.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense because Malo Gusto has experience playing against Mbappe. So, this is what he does. That's why we got him. So, yeah.
Now, final point before we move over. We're not concerned about Holland. Not concerned at all. We showed he showed it the very next match we had. Showed it the very next match we had. Scored
Pep had
scored the only goal we had to win the game because that's what he does. That's who
yeah,
he is.
that's Brentford.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. You got to cut the guy some slack. He had just lost his grandmother.
Oh, I did not know that. That's
Okay. Okay. He had just lost his grandmother. He's going through a lot, man. He's human. He's human. He gets affected by these things. So we had a bad day at the office. How could you not?
it was just a decisive masterclass. That's all.
Okay, that's fine. You can say that. I'll give it to him because they did defend him well. They did defend him well. If Disasi, honestly, I'll say this: if Disasi looked like what he looked like against Highland all the time, I would say I understand why Chelsea bought him. But unfortunately, he does not.
You must understand. That's like it's Virgil van Dijk didn't look like that till they went to Liverpool. Does that make sense? He did not. He was not.
I don't know. I think he was a very towering figure at Southampton.
All flashes.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's what I'm saying. You saw flashes. Everybody was wanted to come at Klopp's neck like Klopp. What are you doing, man? You're ruining our football club. So just Mustassi's what 22. I mean, come on, just cool down. Let him settle down. You know,
I hope you were the same guy that said 23 was old.
I said 23 was who?
Yes.
Since when?
See? Okay, see? I'm gonna have to start bringing up receipts because if people start forgetting what they said.
It depends, though. It completely depends on the player. I mean, like if you haven't really been playing like as a starter, you know what I'm saying? But if you've been a starter since 19, then like that, you're held to a totally different standard than let's say okay 22, then 23, you're breaking into the team. That's
Okay,
different.
okay, okay. I guess that's fair. That's a fair way to look at things. Fair way to look at things.
Yeah.
All right. Last topic before we call it wraps on this episode here. Breaking news of the week: Thomas Tuchel officially out at Bayern at the end of the season. And I have to say, Zach, it was predictable. This was predictable.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because I don't know if I said this a couple episodes back, but I've always been on the stance that if you're Bayern Munich, you just go with what's always worked. What does you guys always do? You steal talent and coaches. So go out there and steal your next talent and your next best coach. Finish out the season with Tuchel. Figure out what's wrong with your team. Go and kidnap Chabi Alonso and
Go and kidnap is crazy. So,
whatever
so
you basically do whatever you gotta do to get him.
no, I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you. Um, Tuchel, best of luck to him wherever he goes.
Will
Rumors out that Barcelona may be interested.
play. Napoli should be looking. Napoli. I don't understand what Napoli's doing.
You think Napoli should go after Tuchel?
My God, are you kidding me?
Hmm.
You don't? Like, what are they
No, I
doing
never.
right?
I didn't really give it any thought, to be honest. But now that you mention it, yeah, I
Bayern
think it would be a nice fit.
But like you said, Barcelona absolutely better not let Napoli get too cool over that. Like, and then Liverpool should be looking at them too.
See, I think I don't know about Liverpool because I think that would be too much of a drastic change from their current their current play style.
So you,
However, I'm not too sure about Barcelona. I think right now Barcelona doesn't really have they don't really have an identity. Like I feel like they're in between of trying to replicate Barcelona of old and
it's not
trying to figure out something new with the youngins. And I just feel like if you bring
it's,
in Tuchel, what Tuchel will bring you, I don't think is the fans will end up liking, and that's where I stop on that.
they're like winning.
Well, that's fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
I'm sorry. Do they like winning? You want to win or you want to look good? Do you want a treasure or a trophy?
That's fair.
Yeah. But so about the Liverpool situation, so what, do you think they should just like hire from within Jurgen Klopp's ranks?
No, I think so. Here's my thing, right? If we're just saying for whatever reason they're not able to get Xabi to come over, I think they should try and stick to something that's similar to their style of football, which they press.
You
Um,
mean Klopp style of football? Stop it.
no, not Klopp. It doesn't because they're not gonna get a Klopp style. Now,
So what's the Liverpool style then?
no, but no. But I'm not. What I'm saying is that when I say they're not gonna get a Klopp style, we're not gonna get a Klopp style. They're not gonna get a Klopp style manager. However, Liverpool is a high energy attack. It's a high energy attack, bro. High energy attack. Now,
Stop it.
I think if they manage to get De Zerbi, I think De Zerbi can come in and do some things, make some changes where it'll be different, but it won't be complete left from what currently exists with Klopp. Whereas I feel like if they were to bring in a manager like Tuchel, that's a complete left from what currently exists. I feel like De Zerbi is more of an adjacent move, which is more what Liverpool should be looking at.
But it's not an adjacent move. It's a move. You're it's, it's a not a lateral or adjacent. It's a lower move, I guess. Because the Zerbi hasn't won anything.
I mean,
The highest the guy has finished is sixth.
okay. So when Klopp hadn't won anything until he got to Liverpool. He was at Dortmund, and all we know Dortmund to be is what we know Dortmund to be: failures and disappointments.
All I know is Liverpool didn't even look at Klopp until after he won. That's all I know. They weren't talking about him. They weren't thinking about Jurgen Klopp until after he won. So now you want to bring De Zerbi, who has won nothing. Okay.
All right. Here's what I'll say. The same way you say Barcelona better not let Napoli get Tuchel.
Mm.
Liverpool better not let Barcelona get De Zerbi. That's all I have to say.
Ooh,
That's all I have to say. And with
you,
that,
you
we've
really be like that. Okay. I
yeah,
mean,
bro. Yeah, I really rate him as a manager. I really rate him as a manager.
waiting for him to win
Okay,
before I
fair
put him
enough.
on
Fair enough.
the manager rating list. I'm still waiting for him to make top four just once.
Okay.
Just
I don't think that's gonna happen with that Brighton squad. But you know what? It is what it is. Deserby, you just know you got me in your corner. Zach is a bit of a tough critic. And with that, that brings us to the end of yet another episode. If you've been rocking us for this long, as always, we appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, family, all that good stuff. And as always, we'll catch you on the next one.